Ooh, welcome to Tennis Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 1st. Today is August 1st, 2026. We're going to be talking about WWE Smackdown and TNA's results because, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't do TNA's. I thought we could just do it on two results on one day, and then we might do the same thing for SummerSlam. Maybe, I don't know. But because SummerSlam is a two-night show, maybe I might just do one video for both nights, and that could come out on Monday. I have no idea. We will figure that out when we get there. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got TNA to talk about. Before we talk about TNA, let's talk about AEW last week on Collision. It was a special edition on Thursday, and they're in Detroit, Michigan, the same place that they were on Dynamite. And we thought we were going to see Motor City Machine Guns at Dynamite. Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't see them at Dynamite. We saw them on Collision, and they are all elites. And they have their real problems with Death Riders and the dogs already, because they like to attack people, and then the Motor City Machine Guns like to be saviors, so they come here and try to save the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, do I think it's a good idea for the Motor City Machine Guns? I just know that they're going to be like lost in the dust. They're the flavor of the month. And then look at some other guys that came from WWE and come to AEW, and then they became nothing. Now Tommaso Ciampa, he lost his no disqualification match, right? Or no his bar match, whatever you want to call it. Now he's just acting like a random challenger. We all know he's going to lose the championship opportunity. He wants to face Andrade for the championship. So we know he's going to lose that match. So, yeah. But we did hear about there's a Trios championship match. Brody King and Bandito will team up with Hangman and Page versus the new champions, the Demand, in their Grand Slam episode of Dynamite in Mexico. And we heard there's going to be a street fight between Will Ospreay and Mark Davis. There's going to be a Mexico street fight. So we're going to see what happens on there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have TNA, and we got some sad news. Daria Ray wants to release Harley Hudson because she hasn't won a lot of matches. So are they going to actually cancel her contract? That's what Darius Ray wants. Let's see what happens there. But ladies and gentlemen, we have the Hardys segment, ladies and gentlemen, talking about they're the goats. They have their goat mask thing. I thought it was stupid. Didn't really look like a goat. I understand TNA has a budget and you can't really get a goat mask. Can't you not really get a real goat mask? Call yourself the goats? And then Jeff Hardy keeps calling himself the Antichrist because that's what he was in the deletion. They talk about the deletion of the righteous and all that stuff, but they want to kick some butt more. They want to go for the tag team titles, not go for it, defend them, and all that stuff. And then, ladies and gentlemen, they got interrupted by the Nebits, saying they are the best tag team. They're the best tag team brothers. And all that stuff, and they want a shot at the tag team titles at Lockdown. And Satino comes out and says, yeah, you guys can get that, but Nick Nevitt, you will be defending your TNA World Championship against Jeff Hardy next week. So, two titles on the line, one on next week and one at Lockdown. And we got more matches got made. We got the Knockouts Tag Team titles will be on the line with Anglers Van again to face Allie and Rosemary. I'll tell you guys how that made. Even the X Division Championship match between Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater. I'll tell you guys more about that when we get there. But ladies and gentlemen, I just received news from my dad. He bought tickets for both nights for the two TNA shows that's happening in August in Brampton. So I'm going to be watching TNA twice in 2 nights. I'm happy. I'm excited. I don't know what you guys think. I don't even know what matches are on there. I had to look on their Instagram because they mostly when they announce matches like the Jeff Hardy and Nick Neville match. We already knew this match was happening because they announced it on their Instagram and then they made it official on TV. But we already knew this match was happening. So maybe when it's close to the showtime in Brampton, they will show us some matches that will be happening on that show. And we heard that Elijah will be versing AJ Francis at Lockdown inside the steel cage as well. Every match will be inside the steel cage. No matches will have no cage matches. Every match will be a cage match. So that's going to be interesting. And I believe Moose wants a match with Frankie Kazarian inside the steel cage as well. AJ Francis tried to be a nice guy and get his manager hospital bills paid up. So he's asking all these guys, like he told me, guys, there was an independent wrestler named Brent Oakley. He was a YouTuber from the Vibe guys. Just like BDE is. And he has a rivalry with BDE and Revolver. But he was there. He pinched in. But AJ Francis stole money out of the hat for the hospital funds. And then he tried to get as Rich Swann and BDE to pay up. But they said no, and they don't want to. Rich Swann asked, did you put any of your money in the hats? Of course he didn't. It's AJ Francis. He doesn't care about anyone else. He cares about himself. That's why he stole money from the dang funds. And then he went up to Elijah saying, you should be paying for this because you're the one who did the two-stone on him. So, yeah. That's how we got that match. We have Casey Navarro coming out and talking about that people say that I wouldn't be able to make it. All that stuff. People bullying him in school and all that stuff. And now he says, I think I'm doing so well because my brothers are here watching me live on TV. And they're here to be at ringside with his brothers. And then he got interrupted by the system, and the system just ignored Mr. Casey, saying that they have business to do, and they don't care about the crybaby Casey Navarro. And then, ladies and gentlemen, they were talking about Leon Slater, talking about Ricky Sosa, and all that stuff. But Casey Navarro, he interrupted them and called them B-words and all that stuff. And then he got attacked after that. He got attacked by every single member. And then here comes Leon Slater, Ricky Sosa, and Giovanni Mancini coming out to make the save. Well, we don't know if that match is going to be made. Maybe Giovanni Mancini will have a match with the system, but somebody has to try to stop the system. Leon Slater has the X Division Championship match, but who's going to stop the system? Brian Myers, Barrett Bronson, and Eddie Edwards. I have no idea. But, ladies and gentlemen, first match of the evening, we got Ricky Sosa and Leon Slater versus Eddie Edwards and Cedric Alexander. Pretty decent tag team match. I enjoyed it. The winner of that match was Ricky Sosa and Leon Slater. And Leon Slater pinned Cedric Alexander, the X Division champion. He pinned him. So he says, you know what that means? I get a title shot. And he wants it inside the steel cage at Lockdown. Cedric Alexander did not accept the match, but you know the management office, they're going to make the match happen. We have Indy Hartwell versus NXT's Thea Hale for the TV title tournament. It was an okay match. The fans are not really into it. I don't know why, but it was a pretty okay match. The winner of that match and advancing to the tournament is Indy Hartwell. And ladies and gentlemen, we heard that Wendy Chu will be getting a Knockouts Championship match next week against Zaya Brookside. So we more NXT stars being showing up. Well, the same one, but it's still more NXT stars. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Heather and M versus Rosemary and Allie for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. But Allie was doing this match all by herself because she couldn't find Rosemary. Nobody could find Rosemary. So Allie was doing this match all by herself, and there was a lot of cheating from the Anglers brand with Mr. Anglers, the personal crochet, M and Heather, a lot of things happening. So the personal cashier tried to bring the championship in the ring, and he got pulled in the ring and all that stuff. And then Ali just went berserk and starts whacking everybody with the knockouts, one half of the knockouts tag team titles. So the winner of that match was Heather and M by DQ. They won the match by DQ because they got hit with the belts. We have Jada Stone versus Jody Threat in the TV title tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm surprised who won this match. I thought Jody Threat will win this match, but Jada Stone beats Jody Threat and advances to the tournament. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Hodge versus Ali for the International Championship. And everybody of the Order 4 was at ringside, and Ali ordered Order 4 not to get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, we thought Jason Hodge and Ali was done. I thought they will wave this match up after Jason Hodge did a suplex outside of the ring, off the turnbuckle, into a table. Like, Jason Hodge didn't even land on the table. Mr. Ali did. Jesus Christ, man. Jason Hodge landed on the outside of the ring, really, and he hurt himself. So I thought he was done, but he wasn't done. Ladies and gentlemen, Ali was trying to cheat and all that stuff. But and then John Skyler comes out, and I think he was about to hit him with a championship belt. And then John Skyler takes the weapon away and try and make it fair. Ali's not happy. And then Ali did a move and he put his feet on the ropes. Tasha Steelz pushes his feet off the thing. Pushes Ali feet off the ropes, and then Maya Moore attack Tasha Steelz. A lot happening here. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and your new international champion, Jason Hodge. He's our new TNA International Champion. I'm trying to get to Smackdown results. Wow. Crazy things happening, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to talk about WWE Smackdown. Because tonight is SummerSlam. Night 1 of SummerSlam. But ladies and gentlemen, I do want to tell you guys, I did get Io Shirai. I got my Io Shirai from my faction. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe it was yesterday. Today's ago or yesterday. They gave us the points from the login awards. I got the Brock Lesnar as well. I don't really care for the Brock Lesnar because I got a whole bunch of Brock Lesnars. I don't need any more, but I wish it was an attire and that's it. But nope. But they gave us the points for the login, and I bought a SummerSlam pack. And there he is. Jey Uso. Pops up. Out of nowhere. My first one to be popped up. He's right there. And then you tell me we got Io Shirai. Some people is complaining about Io Shirai, her entrance. I had her in the match. She wasn't that bad. It was interesting. To me, it was interesting. Now they came out with another SummerSlam pack. Season 2. I only need 2 of these cards that I really want. Charlotte Flair and Jimmy Uso. And if you collect a certain cards, you get Batista 03. I already have a Batista, but it would be cool to have a Batista 03 because I have an old school and I have Evolution. So maybe I will have that. I don't know. I'm not going to work my butt off to get Batista. But I do want Charlotte Flair and I do want Jimmy Uso for my old school universe mode. But there is a Rhea Ripley one in there. I'm going to get out my match over here and I'll tell you guys who else is in this pack. I need to make sure this is muted, that I don't get copyright. You don't want copyright, right? I know I don't. I had to load it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got season 2 here. what they have here, they got Rhea Ripley 2020. Already got a Rhea Ripley, but that one would be cool to get. Charlotte Flair 2017. Jimmy Uso 2017. I don't know. And Kane 03. Well, I already have a whole bunch of Kanes. I don't really care for a whole bunch of Kanes. Because I already have a whole bunch of Kanes. I think we have like 4 of them, don't we? Or 3? I thought we had like 4. Yeah, we have 4. I believe we have 4. Let me check it. Kane, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got the Kane. The latest Kane that was like in 2018, something like that. And Kane 01, that was from the DLC. Kane 08. And Kane 99. 98. I don't know where I got 99 from. 98. So, yeah, I don't need more Kanes. But I do want Charlotte Flair, and then I could put a Charlotte Flair in my old school. I could put Jimmy Uso in there, because I have the current Jimmy Uso in my game. I want old school. Much old school I could get. So that's what I'm trying to get. My dog got scared of a noise outside of my apartment. So he's laying right beside me. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm happy that it's August, and that means August will be over. And you know what that means? Summer is over. I can stop being hot. My dog can stop huffing and puffing a lot because he's hot. We do these long walks. We walk to a park. Sometimes we walk around the neighborhood. But he gets so hot because he's choking. He pulls so much. Though I think the problem is I have a short leash, and he wants to sniff things. And dogs, they're so curious of everything, so they're going to try to get there fast. And I walk slow. I don't really walk fast. The only time I walk fast is when you pull so hard. Sometimes I hate mornings, because what's the point of waking up in the morning and you're still tired? I don't understand that. My dog is so curious of everything, so he's going to pull me, and I'm not a big fan of that because he's hurting my arm, and I don't really like it. I need my arms, I need to pick up things. So yeah, I think I need a longer leash, and I might do that somewhere in the future, get a longer leash, and see what happens. Maybe not too long, but long enough that he could stretch out. We have this this leash that my brother bought that goes like 15 feet, something like that. But he likes to run on the road, and I have to pull him away off the road because talking to him, telling him to don't do that, he's not gonna listen. I tell him to stop pulling, he doesn't stop. I tell him don't do it, he doesn't stop. He keeps going. So I don't need one of those leads that stretches out and then he runs on the road. I don't like when he pulls me when I'm holding that leash. That thing's gonna hurt me because it's plastic. I'm holding hard plastic. At least with the leash I have, the rope one, I could wrap around my hand, and then I could pull him and it won't hurt my hand so hard. I can pull him back to make sure he's safe and not going to get hurt. And if there's dogs around, I have to hold the dang leash. Imagine holding that thing. It hurts my head. I don't want to do that thing. When he learns how to walk good, I will use that leash. But right now, he's not walking very well, so we're not doing that leash. So, yeah. There's my puppy. He's sleeping now. I had to go grocery shopping soon, and I will try. Like I did it before, I'm going to risk it again. I will let him stay out his cage when I go out and do a little shopping, grocery shopping, because I need my food. I need to buy food for the week. So yeah, I'm gonna risk it and see he will not rip anything or break anything or go awesome anywhere. I don't think he didn't do that on the last time, so I hope he doesn't do it this time. And normally it looks like he waits for me, like the bathroom. I think I don't think he wants to be near the door. Because I never ever see him sit by the door when I come in. I always see him like at the end of my hallway here, and then he waits until I come in, and then he approaches me, and then he gets excited because I'm home. But he never waits at the front door, waits for me to come in. He does that all the time. I think that's when there's nobody home, and I guess he might get scared. So he doesn't know who's coming in. So, because I don't announce myself, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm home. Or knock on the door and say it's Tyler, and then I don't want him to get him barking. Right? So, yeah. See what happens there. How he acts there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got Finn Balor had a segment to start off Friday Night Smackdown talking about his SummerSlam and his first SummerSlam. He had a good and bad when he won the Universal title for the very first time in 2016. And then he had to vacate the title because of an injury. And he hasn't had a world title shot since. Or won the world title. He has world title shots because he had a WWE Championship. I got something in my eye. He had a WWE Championship match against Roman Reigns once. And he had a couple of World Heavyweight Championship matches against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So yeah, he had the World Championship matches. It's just he never won it. So now he really wants to win this one and hold it longer. Will he be able to hold it longer? We have no idea. Sami Zayn came out and he says that he's always upset because he held it for only 9 days. But Finn Balor said, you held it for 9 days. I held it for 1 day. Not even 1 day. And he says, I had to vacate the title because of injury. You didn't have to vacate the title because of injury or anything like that. You lost. And then that's happened there. They just talk trash to each other, make it personal for SummerSlam. And then Gunther comes out and attacks both Sami Zayn and Finn Balor, attacking them. And then Adam Pearce comes out and Gunther says, what do I need to do to get what's mine? He wants the WWE Championship match, but he's in a match against Nick Aldis. He says, do I have to beat the living hell out of you as well to get what I want? And Adam Pearce says, I want to see you try, because if you do, Adam Pearce won't hesitate to fire Gunther. But when Gunther got close to Adam Pearce, Finn Balor attacks Gunther, did a couple of shots on Gunther, and then Sami Zayn comes to the stage, throws Finn Balor off of Gunther, and he starts punching Gunther. And then Finn Balor shoves Sami Zayn off. They start fighting. Gunther knocks those guys out, both of them. And then here comes Nick Aldis running towards Gunther. Has a brawl with Gunther and Nick Aldis. The guy looks like he is well trained. He's doing well. He did a clover leaf. He did a really good job there. But ladies and gentlemen, he did tell Chris Van Lee he is nervous. He's nervous. He wants to make sure that he does good for the fans. He did a really good job with that clover leaf. He did have a problem. So let's see what he does at SummerSlam. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga finally trying to get to the tag team gold, win some gold. They're saying that they let Solo Sikoa. That's the good thing that they did. That's a good decision. It takes balls to walk away from your family. And then out of nowhere, Haku, the father of Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga, comes out and says, you guys are the Tongans. You're the sons of Haku. Almost said almost an F word in there. Haku. They're the sons of Haku, and he says, you guys are the toughest guys. Destroy people. I'll tell you guys more about that when we get there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Beat Bad Meechin. Beat Bad and Meechin versus Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. Both ladies, Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton, will be in the interim women's ladder match. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pretty decent match, but of course, a little help of Jade Cargill, Beat Bad and Meechin gets the win. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here comes Charlotte Flair. After the beating Jade Cargill and Beat Bad and Meechin tried to do to Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton after the match, Chelsea Green comes out. Here Charlotte Flair comes out. Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton got rid of Beat Bad and Meechin, so Jade Cargill was the only one in the ring. And then we had a brawl between Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. And that's it happened there. Well, next we got title for title. WWE title and the AAA World Tag Team titles were on the line. R-Truth and Damian Priest versus the War Raiders. Awesome match. It was a pretty decent match. Not awesome, but it was pretty decent. But, ladies and gentlemen, this match, nobody won. Because it was a double DQ because nobody wanted to get out of the ring. And then they start brawling outside the ring where the audience is. These guys were destroying each other. But at the end, when War Raiders almost got rid of Damian Priest and R-Truth, here comes Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga coming involved and start attacking War Raiders, R-Truth, and Damian Priest, destroying everybody. Holds up the tag titles, both tag titles, the WWE and the AAA. And Haku was in the ring with his sons. And ladies and gentlemen, they pose. Will we see those guys become the double tag team champions or one of the tag team titles? We got Ray Phoenix versus JD Madonna for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. Pretty decent match. These guys were doing great. But ladies and gentlemen, Dominic got himself involved. He got kicked out of the arena. But before he has to leave, he got confronted by Danhausen, because that's why they came to Smackdown, to find Danhausen. So Dominic found Danhausen when Danhausen was behind him, and then Dominic, when he was doing the "You Are Cursed" thing, Dominic attacked him, and then here comes the Minihausens attacking Dominic Mysterio with Danhausen, got rid of Dominic, and then Ray Phoenix beats JD Madonna for the Cruiserweight Championship. And then we have Lash Legend versus Julia in the last spot in the ladder match for the Interim Women's Championship. And ladies and gentlemen, we got Lash Legend versus Julia. The winner of that match was Lash Legend. She got the title shot. She's getting the title shot. She's in the ladder match. Her teammate is not in the ladder match, but she is. And then we got CM Punk and Cody Rhodes face to face. These guys just talk trash. Cody Rhodes trying to do his entrance. He got interrupted after he was trying to do the pyro. Got interrupted by CM Punk. And then, ladies and gentlemen, they just talk trash. And they hate each other right now because it's about the WWE Championship. Let's see what happens at SummerSlam when that happens. But ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys tomorrow or Monday for both SummerSlam results. But ladies and gentlemen, will we have any surprises at SummerSlam? People are saying there could be surprises, some returns. I have no idea. We will see what happens when the WWE comes to Minneapolis. Can't even say the word. But ladies and gentlemen, we will see if there's any surprises. It's one of the big shows. There has to be some surprises, right? You know what I want to see? I thought we might see on Smackdown, but I think Dijak still has a contract with MLW. Imagine we get the skyscrapers from MLW and they bring it to WWE. Imagine that. Imagine Dijak and Baron Corbin comes in, because people are saying they're trying to work on their tag team division. Imagine bring Dijak and Baron Corbin as their in the tag team division in SmackDown. I would love to see Enzo Amore and Big Cass back in the WWE. We know Big Cass is making his return on Monday, but is Enzo making his return on Monday? Will that be a big surprise? Hey, if that is a big surprise, if that happens, I think after SummerSlam is better than after WrestleMania. Because after WrestleMania, you're supposed to have a lot of surprises. They didn't have a lot of surprises after WrestleMania. But SummerSlam, if you get Big Cass and Enzo, we already know Big Cass is a big surprise. But he's not a surprise now because we already know about it. But that's a big thing that's happening on Raw. Big Cass is coming back. But will Enzo be big? Will he show up? Will he show up? That's what I want to see. Will he show up? Will WWE bring more guys in? They said they're going to bring more guys in. Have some guys to come to NXT, come to Raw and SmackDown. I want to see it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping we get some surprises tonight for the first night of SummerSlam. And they did show us Nick Aldis as the NWA World Champion. They had a video package of him, even his TNA days as Magnus. When he won the world title, as he faced Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle. They even showed James Storm in there. So that's pretty cool that they showed us TNA stuff and what he done in TNA, what he did in NWA, and all that stuff. That's pretty cool as well. But let's see what happens at SummerSlam. I believe Nick Aldis is supposed to have his match tonight, not on Sunday. So we will see what happens on SummerSlam. That's all me today. Tell us out. Bye.